You sit among friends and laugh at the right moments, but inside you feel a quiet distance. While others seem at home in small talk and easy conversation, you sense something missing. It feels as if no one truly sees you, as though you are living behind glass. This loneliness is not about being physically alone. It is about being unseen. You carry depth that others rarely touch, questions they never ask, and feelings they cannot understand. Surrounded by people, you can still feel like a stranger searching for a place to belong. The longer this continues, the heavier it becomes. You wonder if something is wrong with you, if your intensity makes you impossible to love. Yet deep inside, you sense that somewhere in the world there must be others like you, souls who live at the same depth. Then, without warning, it happens. You meet someone and within minutes you feel as if you have known them for years. Conversation flows effortlessly, masks dissolve, and you find yourself speaking truths you normally keep hidden. The recognition is instant, undeniable, and strangely comforting. It feels less like meeting a stranger and more like remembering. Their presence carries a frequency that resonates with yours. You do not need to explain your sensitivity or defend your depth. They understand without effort, as if they have been waiting for your voice all along. This moment surprises you because it contrasts so sharply with ordinary interactions. Where others make you feel out of place, this connection makes you feel at home. The recognition is not logical. It bypasses reason and strikes directly at the core of your being. Carl Jung believed these rare moments are not accidents. They reveal a hidden order in the psyche, a resonance between souls that transcends ordinary explanation. What feels like coincidence is in fact synchronicity, a meaningful encounter that confirms you are not as alone as you feared. In this video, we will explore why instant recognition happens, how to recognize the signs of it, and why such connections feel deeper than logic can explain. We will uncover both the beauty and the challenges of finding your kind, and show how to nurture these rare bonds. By the end, you will understand why certain people awaken something ancient within you. You will see that your longing for connection is not a weakness, but a clue. There's a tribe waiting for you, and recognition is the signal that you have finally found them. Jung used the word synchronicity to describe meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained by chance alone. These events connect inner experience with outer reality in ways that feel orchestrated. Meeting someone who resonates with your inner world at exactly the right moment is one of its clearest expressions. Synchronicity bypasses logic. It is not about probability or statistics. It is about significance. You recognize the meeting as special not because of how it happened, but because of the impact it has on your inner life. The event carries weight, shaping memory and direction. For Jung, synchronicity revealed that human lives are not governed only by random events. There is a deeper order at work, an unseen fabric that links people and moments together. Instant recognition between rare souls is one of the ways this hidden pattern comes to light. Recognition between rare souls does not require explanation. It happens beneath words, in the subtle language of energy and presence. You feel it in the way their eyes meet yours, in the calm that settles inside you, in the sense that you have arrived where you belong. This recognition bypasses analysis. It is not based on shared hobbies, backgrounds, or opinions. Instead, it is the resonance of two psyches tuned to the same frequency. Jung believed this happens because the unconscious carries patterns that align, allowing one soul to mirror another instantly. You cannot force this recognition. It cannot be manufactured or faked. It emerges spontaneously, and when it does, the experience is unmistakable. What once felt like lifelong loneliness suddenly shifts into belonging, as if the universe arranged the meeting for both of you to awaken. When recognition occurs, it feels larger than choice. You sense that you were meant to meet this person, as if life itself orchestrated the encounter. Jung explained that such moments connect to the collective unconscious, where patterns of meaning weave lives together beyond personal control. This is why the connection carries weight that ordinary meetings lack. You remember the place, the feeling, even the smallest details, because the experience touches something eternal. It is not just another interaction. It feels like part of your story, already written long before you lived it. Destiny is the language the psyche uses to describe deep alignment. Recognition feels inevitable because it awakens what has been waiting in you. The meeting does not create belonging, it reveals it. For the first time, you see proof that your soul was never alone. When you meet someone of your kind, the first thing you notice is the energy. Their presence feels familiar, as if it vibrates at the same frequency as yours. There is no need to explain or justify who you are. You simply feel recognized and understood. This resonance creates an immediate sense of safety. You can breathe more deeply, speak more freely, and let your guard down without effort. The usual tension of masking or performing disappears. What remains is a natural connection that feels effortless and deeply nourishing. Jung suggested that this shared frequency arises from similar levels of consciousness. Two people who have faced their inner depths often recognize each other instantly. Their alignment is not superficial, but rooted in the unconscious, where authentic connection always begins. When you encounter someone of your kind, the masks you usually wear fall away without effort. You do not feel the need to filter your words or soften your intensity. The conversation naturally bypasses small talk and moves directly into honesty, depth, and meaning. This effortless authenticity feels liberating. The part of you that often hides finally breathes freely. You are not performing or editing yourself to be accepted. Instead, you are seen exactly as you are, and that recognition creates a sense of relief that ordinary interactions never provide. Jung noted that such encounters are rare because most people live through personas, carefully constructed roles designed for social survival. When two people with similar depth meet, the personas dissolve almost instantly. What remains is raw truth, and in that space the soul feels at home. When recognition happens, time often bends. Hours can feel like minutes, or a short conversation can feel as if it has lasted a lifetime. This distortion is not imagination. It reflects the depth of connection pulling you out of ordinary awareness and into a timeless space. The bond forms quickly, bypassing the slow process of building trust step by step. Instead, there is a direct sense of knowing. You share thoughts you have never spoken aloud, and the other person receives them as if they have been waiting to hear them all along. This depth creates memory that endures. Long after the meeting, you recall the details with clarity, not because of what was said, but because of how it felt. The experience imprints itself on the psyche, reminding you that something beyond logic has taken place. Science offers one explanation for instant recognition through the discovery of mirror neurons. These are brain cells that fire both when you act and when you observe someone else acting. They allow you to feel another person's emotions as if they were your own. When two rare souls meet, their heightened sensitivity activates this system intensely. Empathy flows effortlessly, creating a sense of deep resonance. You do not just understand the other person intellectually. You feel their presence in your own body, which makes the connection undeniable. This neurological mirroring explains why words become secondary. The recognition is not carried by conversation, but by a felt sense of shared experience. It is biology and psychology working together, allowing two people to meet beneath the surface where genuine empathy lives. Another explanation for instant recognition lies in the unconscious mind's ability to detect patterns. Long before conscious thought catches up, your psyche notices subtle cues in body language, tone, and energy that signal familiarity. You sense alignment without knowing exactly why. Jung believed the unconscious is constantly scanning for resonance. When it finds someone who carries similar depth, wounds, or growth, it sends a surge of recognition. This is not coincidence. It is the unconscious recognizing itself reflected in another person's presence. Because this process happens below awareness, The experience feels mysterious, even fated. You cannot explain logically why you trust this person or why you open up so quickly. The unconscious has already recognized the connection, and your conscious mind is simply catching up. Jung suggested that recognition also occurs when two people's archetypal patterns align. Archetypes are universal forces within the psyche, such as the healer, the seeker, or the warrior. When your dominant archetypes resonate with someone else's, you feel as though you are meeting a familiar soul. Individuation plays a role as well. This is Jung's term for the process of becoming whole by integrating the unconscious. When two people are at similar stages of this journey, they recognize in each other the same hard-won depth. The resonance is not accidental, but born from shared evolution. This alignment explains why recognition feels larger than friendship. It is not based only on shared interests, but on the meeting of inner patterns and parallel journeys. You sense not only who they are, but who they are becoming, and that reflection awakens your own growth. For someone who has felt different most of their life, recognition brings immediate relief. The loneliness of sensing too much and being misunderstood begins to dissolve. In a single meeting, you discover proof that others exist who live with the same depth and intensity. This relief is not only emotional, but existential. It reassures you that your difference was never a mistake. The qualities that once set you apart are reflected back as strengths in another person. You realize you are not broken, only rare, and rarity can find its match. The feeling of belonging is profound. Instead of being an outsider, you become part of a hidden network of souls scattered across the world. Recognition turns alienation into connection, showing you that even in your most private struggles, you were never truly alone. Recognition offers more than comfort. It validates that the way you perceive the world is real. For years you may have questioned whether your sensitivity was exaggeration or whether your depth was simply too much. Meeting someone who mirrors these traits erases those doubts. Their presence becomes living proof. When you see your own intensity reflected in another person, it confirms that you are not imagining it. The qualities that others dismissed or criticized suddenly appear as natural, even necessary, parts of being human. Your difference is affirmed. This validation strengthens identity. Instead of hiding your perception, you begin to trust it. Instead of toning yourself down, you recognize that your depth carries meaning. The encounter reminds you that what makes you unusual is not a flaw, but a rare and vital gift. Recognition awakens the feeling that you are part of something larger, a hidden tribe scattered across the world. These connections remind you that your path is not solitary. Others have walked through the same intensity and carry the same fire of perception within them. Belonging to this unseen community provides strength. Even if you rarely meet in person, the knowledge that others exist changes everything. You no longer see your difference as exile, but as membership in a rare lineage of souls who are meant to find one another. This sense of tribe creates hope. It assures you that the journey of authenticity, though difficult, is shared. You are not wandering alone. You are part of a living network, a constellation of rare beings whose recognition of each other keeps the light of truth alive. Because recognition is so powerful, losing such a connection can feel devastating. Ordinary relationships fade, but rare ones cut deeper. When distance, conflict, or circumstance pulls you apart, the absence feels like more than loss. It feels like a part of your soul has gone missing. This pain lingers because the connection was more than friendship. It carried the weight of destiny, validation, and belonging. Losing it reopens the wound of isolation, reminding you of the years you spent feeling unseen. The silence left behind is louder than any words spoken. Yet Jung believed that even painful separations serve a purpose. The depth of grief reflects the depth of recognition. These losses are not signs that the connection was false, but proof of how rare and meaningful it truly was. The memory remains a source of guidance. Once you have experienced rare recognition, ordinary relationships feel thinner. Small talk, casual bonding, and surface-level interactions leave you restless. The taste of true connection raises your standards, making it hard to accept relationships that ask you to dim your light or hide your depth. This difficulty is not arrogance. It is the natural consequence of knowing what it feels like to be fully seen. Returning to shallow exchanges feels like starvation after tasting real nourishment. You crave authenticity because you now know it exists and will not settle for less. The challenge is learning patience. Not every interaction will carry the weight of recognition, and expecting it everywhere only creates disappointment. Instead, you honor everyday connections while holding space for the rare bonds that remind you of your true home. The power of recognition can create dependency. Because the bond feels rare and irreplaceable, you may cling too tightly, fearing its loss. This intensity can overwhelm the connection, turning what began as freedom into attachment driven by fear rather than love. Projection is another danger. You may place all your unmet needs onto the other person, imagining them as savior or soulmate who will heal every wound. In reality, they reflect your depth but cannot complete you. Expecting them to do so can distort the relationship. Jung reminded us that recognition should lead to growth, not fusion. The gift of meeting your kind is learning that you are not alone, but the work of wholeness still belongs to you. Healthy bonds support individuation. Unhealthy bonds risk becoming another form of escape. Rare recognition creates a chance for honesty from the very first moment. Unlike ordinary relationships where masks are slowly removed, these bonds invite truth immediately. Speaking openly about your thoughts and emotions lays a foundation that protects the connection from misunderstanding or unnecessary pretense. Depth must be honored early. Instead of retreating into small talk, allow conversations to go where they naturally want to flow into meaning, vulnerability, and shared experience. These early exchanges set the tone, making the relationship a space where authenticity is not only allowed but expected. Jung believed that real intimacy comes when two people meet beyond their personas. By choosing honesty and depth from the beginning, you ensure that the connection grows on solid ground. It becomes a relationship shaped by truth, strong enough to withstand time and challenge. Even rare recognition needs boundaries to remain healthy. The intensity of such a connection can tempt you to share everything at once, or depend on the other person for constant reassurance. Boundaries create balance, allowing the bond to deepen without becoming overwhelming or consuming. Respect is equally essential. The person you recognize carries their own journey, struggles, and needs. Expecting them to always mirror you or to meet every emotional demand places pressure that can fracture the relationship. Respecting their individuality preserves the integrity of the connection. When boundaries and respect are present, recognition matures into something stable. Instead of burning out in intensity, the bond grows into a lasting presence. Each person remains whole, and the connection becomes a source of strength rather than a fragile attachment. Rare recognition can feel like a refuge from a world that misunderstands you, but it is not meant to be an escape. If you treat it only as shelter, the bond risks becoming stagnant. Its true purpose is to awaken growth, not to replace the work of individuation. When both people commit to growth, the connection becomes transformative. You challenge each other with honesty, encourage each other's authenticity, and reflect back truths that might otherwise remain unseen. The relationship evolves into a mirror where each soul becomes more fully itself. Jung taught that the best relationships do not dissolve individuality, but strengthen it. By using recognition for mutual growth, you honor the gift without losing your independence. The bond becomes a living force, not a hiding place, a partnership in awakening rather than a retreat from life. You may have doubted for years whether anyone else like you exists. Recognition proves that you are not imagining your depth. Rare souls are real, and they do find one another. Even across distance and time, something within you calls out and is answered. The loneliness you once carried does not define your future. Meeting someone who reflects your essence shows that your difference is not isolation, but belonging to a hidden circle of kindred spirits. Their presence affirms that your way of seeing has a place in the world. Trust that these connections are not accidents. Jung believed they arise from a deeper order guiding human lives. When they happen, it is because your inner journey has aligned with another's. Rare souls are meant to meet, and recognition is proof of that truth. There is power in declaring recognition out loud. By writing the words, "I have found my kind," you affirm to yourself and to others that belonging is real. This statement is more than a phrase. It is a signal that you are part of a hidden tribe. Each declaration strengthens the sense of community. When others see your words, they know they are not alone. The bond is not limited to private meetings, but expands into a network of rare souls who recognize one another even across distance. This tribal call transforms isolation into connection. It reminds you that while recognition moments are rare, the tribe is larger than you think. By speaking the words, you step out of silence and into visibility, joining those who live and honor the same depth. Rare recognition does not happen often, and that is what makes it precious. If you are fortunate enough to meet someone who sees you fully, treat the bond with care. Do not take it for granted, because such connections are not easily replaced once lost. Cherishing the bond means showing up with honesty, patience, and gratitude. Protecting it means respecting boundaries and nurturing the connection even when life grows busy. These relationships are sacred mirrors, and neglect can dim their light. Conscious attention is required to keep them alive. Jung believed that recognition is part of individuation, helping each person become more whole. When you honor the bond, you are not only protecting a relationship, you are safeguarding a channel through which your own growth and transformation continue to unfold. For every year you felt unseen, for every moment you doubted your place in the world, recognition delivers a simple truth: you are not alone. There are others who carry the same depth, who understand without explanation, and who walk the same hidden path. To be recognized is to be reminded that your difference has meaning. It is not an accident, not a flaw, but a sign that you belong to a lineage of rare souls. When you meet your kind, you remember who you are and why you came into this world. Hold this truth close. Your recognition is real, and it is sacred. You are not wandering in isolation. You are part of a living network of souls whose presence confirms your value. You are seen, you are understood, and you are finally home.